come and go, don't they? And sometimes a particular Christmas will stand out in our memory. Certainly last Christmas, with all the restrictions that COVID placed on us, will be one that I'm sure we'll all remember. So let's hope and pray that this Christmas will be just a little bit more normal. Well, one Christmas that stands out for me is Christmas back in 1987. It was our first Christmas as parents. Our son Alistair had been born earlier in the year, and to have a baby in the house at Christmas was just so special. We were spending Christmas with my parents, and the day was going well. We'd been to church in the morning, and the presents were a great success. Although perhaps even more fun was had with the paper. And then we sat down for Christmas dinner, and I had a moment of real crisis. Alistair was just starting out eating solids, and I could not believe it when he turned his nose up at my mum's Christmas dinner. Because to my mind, that was the best dinner ever. And if he didn't like that, then what hope was there for my own cooking? I perhaps need to tell you that he never turned his nose up at anybody's Christmas dinner after that. And it really was a magical day. This picture captures so much of that sense of wonder that's at the heart of Christmas. Does this happen every year? Well, fast forward 20 years, and here's Alistair, all grown up, leading us in some family carol singing in exactly the same space, my parents' lounge. What other time of year do you get to wear such ridiculous hats? New family members were being added to our number. And soon it would be time to say goodbye to others, because this was actually to be my mum's last Christmas. But that chance to gather together as family across the generations is part of what makes Christmas special. It's why it's been so hard in these COVID times when we've not been able to meet up. It's why it's so hard when we're mindful of that empty space at the table, of a loved one who's no longer with us. But it's also why we rejoice when new little ones arrive on the scene, because at the heart of Christmas lies a baby born in that little time of Bethlehem over 2,000 years ago, a baby whose arrival was foretold by the prophets centuries before, a baby whose life was entrusted to a young girl called Mary and to Joseph, whom she was to marry. A baby who was born far from home in a dirty, smelly stable. A baby whose arrival was heralded by the angels who were in on the secret. They knew just how special this little baby was. How his arrival would bring good news of great joy to all the people. A Saviour has been born to you. This was the message of the angels to the shepherds. And they were given a sign. This will be a sign to you. You'll find the baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger. So the shepherds hurried to Bethlehem, and they found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in the manger. Well, what an incredible gift the shepherds' visit must have been to Mary and Joseph. They who'd had their own encounters with the angel Gabriel months before, they who carried in their hearts the things that they'd been told. But to have it confirmed now, the very night their baby had been born, through the visit of the angels, who shared with them all that they'd seen and heard from the angels, well, that must have been just so reassuring for them. They hadn't imagined it all. This baby, their son, God's son, truly had been born to be the Saviour of the world. Wow, what do you do with this kind of news? Well, Luke tells us how Mary treasured all these things up and pondered them in her heart. What it was going to mean would become clearer as the years went on. For Mary, there'd be pain as well as joy in being the mother of the Son of God. But one thing's for sure, Mary's life was changed forever by Jesus, by his presence in her life. I don't know how many of you have discovered The Chosen. It's a beautiful dramatization of the life of Jesus portrayed in the Gospels. It's wonderfully imaginative, yet utterly believable. And it's definitely one of the best things I've watched this year. And good news of great joy. Just this last week, a Christmas special has been released, and it's available to watch for free on YouTube. It gives a wonderful insight into the nativity story, the birth of Jesus, a beautiful window into Mary's world, into all that she carried in her heart to the end of her days. So, if you're looking for something special to watch this Christmas, then I thoroughly recommend this, The Chosen Christmas Special. I love it when Jesus does something special here in our hearts, something that changes us forever. He did it for Mary all those years ago, and he did it for me 43 years ago, when I was a second-year student at Exeter University. A chaotic roller coaster ride through my first year had left me emotionally wrung out, asking deep questions about the meaning of life. I didn't really know it then, but actually I really was very lost in so many ways. But then God's Spirit began to awaken something in me, set me off on a spiritual search, and a search that would lead me to Jesus. Jesus, the one who came to bring good news of great joy. I can still remember the morning I woke up, the 5th of December, 1978, woke up with this incredible feeling of joy bubbling up within me. And it's a moment I treasure in my own heart. My life changed forever from that day. And I found a whole new sense of purpose and of meaning in life. That's not to say it's always been easy in the years that have followed, but my life has been rich beyond anything I could have asked or imagined. God has been so good to me. At the heart of Christmas is this message. A Saviour has been born. A message that will be good news of great joy for all people. And that includes you as well as me. So if you don't know Jesus for yourself, we'd love to give you one of these little booklets to take away. It's called Why Christmas. It has a companion called Why Jesus, and you can find that on the website for those of you who are watching online. It will help you discover how Jesus can be good news for you here and now. And we'd love to invite you to come along to the next Alpha course. Thanks so much for telling us about it, Harry. That was fab. Starting on the 18th of January with a taster session. You can pick up an invitation as you leave, or pick up just the news online. And it would be great if you could sign up to let us know if you're planning to come, so that we can be sure to cook enough food. But you would be so, so welcome. Mary welcomed Jesus into her life and into her heart. And we can do the same. There's one more Bible reading to come after our next carol. That beautiful opening from John's Gospel. And in it is this astounding verse and this amazing promise. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. So, will you receive the gift of the Christ child into your heart this Christmas? I love it that we get to celebrate the birth of this special baby every Christmas. But I love it even more that Jesus didn't stay a baby, that his presence isn't confined to Christmas. He's alive today and seated at the right hand of the Father. And the angels in heaven still adore him, still rejoice in his presence. And we too can know his presence in our lives every day of the year. Because at the heart of Christmas is this message. This promise that the baby whose birth we're celebrating this Christmas is Immanuel, God with us.